Welcome, my fellow Aero nerds. In this video, I wanted to show you a cool trick with Xfoil on how you can run Xfoil using an input file. I don't have to go through and type in every command in the command prompt. I can create a file that has all the commands in it and then just run Xfoil based on this input file. Now, this is actually pretty cool when you're collaborating with other engineers. Instead of having to pass them a polar save file or a polar dump file or run through commands with them, you can just create an input file and give them the input file, and then they can go run their Xfoil on their machine with your input file. So it's a really cool collaboration tool. It's also used sometimes by other applications when they're trying to control Xfoil using another software like MATLAB. Anyway, let's go ahead and get right to it. The first step of running Xfoil using an input file is, of course, creating the input file. I'm going to go ahead and use the Notepad application. So find your Notepad and double click it open. Now for the list of commands on what we want Xfoil to do, I'm going to go ahead and try and replicate what we did in the Polar Plot Basics video. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start by specifying an airfoil, and that is just by typing NACA, a space, and then 4412 and hit enter. After that, I'm going to type in OPER. This will bring me down into the OPER menu. Hit enter. Then I'm going to type in ITER with a space and then 250. This will increase the number of iterations before Xfoil gives up trying to solve the problem. After that, hit enter, and we're going to type in VISC3E6. We're going to be doing a viscous solution with a Reynolds number of 3 times 10 to the 6th. And then go ahead and hit enter. Type in SEQP, and then go ahead and hit enter. And after that, type in PACC, P-A-C-C, right? That's polar accumulation. Because we're doing this sequence plot and trying to create a polar, we need to specify that we're collecting all the points of the polar, not to just throw away the last value as we're calculating the current value. And then, of course, the polar accumulate command gives you the option of saving 2 files. You are going to have to do that when running from an input file. The reason being is that when we run Xfoil, it's going to open up, run off of this input file, and then close itself. So if you're wanting to get any data out of this, you need to save to a dump file. So I'm going to go ahead and call mine autopolarsave.txt. And then I'm just going to go ahead and save the dump file and call it autopolardump.txt and hit enter after that line. And then, of course, we're going to do a sequence of airfoils. So I'm going to type in the command ASEQ, and then a space, and then my starting angle of attack of -8, then a space, and then the final angle of attack of 26, and then a space and the increment of 1. After that, go ahead and hit enter. I like to make sure that I've hit enter enough times so that my cursor ends on a new line, just so I make sure that when it's reading it reads in that last command as well. When you're done typing up this input file with your list of commands that you want Xfoil to do, go ahead and save this as a TXT file in the same location that you have your Xfoil application. I'm going to go ahead and name mine Xfoil inputfile.txt. The next step is to open the command prompt on your computer. I'm using a Windows computer, so that usually just means going down to the start button, typing in command prompt to search for it, and then selecting it out of the list of the results. When you find it, go ahead and double click to open up a command prompt window. After the command prompt opens, the next step is that you want to navigate to the folder where you have the Xfoil application and the pxplot application and the pplot application. So if you look here at the command prompt that I opened, it has the current location right here on the left of the caret, and it's sitting there waiting for you to enter in a command and hit enter. So the command we want to use is cd, which stands for change directory. And so we'll type in cd, and then we'll type in the path for the Xfoil folder that has the application inside of it. So on my computer, I have a folder on the C drive called Xfoil 6.99. Yours is probably going to be in a different location. Go ahead and type in whatever path is specific for your computer to get to that folder. After I typed it in and hit enter, you can see that the location or current directory has changed to the location I specified. This is important because in a future step, it's going to be looking in the current folder that you're in for the application. So if you're in the wrong folder, it's not going to see the application. Now the next step, step 4, we're going to go ahead and call the Xfoil application and pass our input file to it. So I'm going to type xfoil.exe and then a space, and then I'm going to do a left caret and then a space, and then my input file name. I named mine xfoil input file.txt, so that's what I'm going to type out on this same line. So when you've typed in this command, go ahead and hit enter. Now you'll notice that when you do that, Xfoil should open up and begin automatically running down the list of your commands, which includes, in this case, plotting automatically as well. So you'll see the windows pop up and you'll see that it will start to plot, but then you'll also notice that it will close automatically as well. This is the reason I had you save to a Polar save file so that you don't lose any of this data when Xfoil closes. After it finishes running and it closes itself automatically, if you go and look in the Xfoil folder that we've been using, you'll see that the AutoPolar save file and the AutoPolar dump file have saved themselves there, and you can easily click it open and see the results of running Xfoil using this input file that we created. And just looking at the file, we see it has our airfoil there. It's got the Reynolds number that we specified, and we can see right here in the angle of attack, they match what we specified, and we have our data here. So looks like everything worked great. We've got our data. We can go and use this to do whatever cool engineering projects we're working on. Anyways, I just wanted to show you this really cool method of using Xfoil. We're probably going to build on it in a future video when we talk about how some people use MATLAB or other applications to control Xfoil. But in the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and call this a video. You know what to do. If you like this video and want to see some more, make sure to smash that like button. I'll see you in the next video.